ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
This is all Robbie's fault. This is all Robbie Roselle's fault. This unprofessional show. You see, I was on the Instagram Live with Robbie Roselle, who's directing me next week in the Green Room 42, and we were talking about Rocky Horror Picture Show. And then everything gets messed up, and I was so ready. I blame Robbie. Hey, everybody. Welcome. I'm Robert Bannon. Thank you so much for being here. This is the Roundtable. We are super live. It's a cold, freezing, rainy, disgusting, terrible day here in New Jersey. And but it's nice and warm and toasty because I'm with you. How's everybody feeling and doing tonight? Look, Robbie was on to talk about the fact that Robbie was in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Look, people are yelling at me that I'm late. Abby, I know I'm late. Oh, I'm already a queen. Hi. Hey. Yes, queen. Hi, Ice Skater Queen. How you doing? Thanks for being here. Look at Robbie Roselle of Broadway Records as Frankfurter in Rocky Horror Picture Show. And why is this important? Because Barry Bostwick is here with us today. Barry Bostwick of Frankenfurter fame. And then if you're a soap opera star or Cobra Kai star, listen, if you're anyone, if you're the housewife who loves the soaps, and if you're the Karate Kid person, then you need to be here because Sean Kanan is here. Robbie's dead. Let's look at it again. Hold on. Oh, look at this picture of Robbie. Look at him there. Yes, corset. Yes. Corsets for everyone. How y'all doing? I'm so excited to be here with you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for everyone who's been watching the shows lately. They've been getting more and more views and more love. And I'm so grateful to be here with you all. You're all so sweet and wonderful. And I'm having a grand old time. Are you ready to get started with me? Are you? If you've never been to the Roundtable before, hold on to your hat. This is called the Week in Review. So this week, I had a really hi, Hobie Sunshine. Hey, Abby. Abby's, that's it, Robbie, you're done. Yes, I make up Robbie Roselle. And hi, Adeline. Good to see you. The students are here. So my week in review. So this week I went to get it together. I went and saw the play that goes wrong. It's now off Broadway. It's now playing at New World Stages, and it's really fun. And I haven't seen a show in a long time that I wish I could be in, because I don't follow any direction. So I don't usually want to do musicals anymore or plays. But this would make me come out of retirement. This was such a good time. Me and my friend Mike went and saw it. Thank you so much, BBB Way, for inviting us to the show. It's back. It's at New World Stages, and you need to check it out. It's a really good, fun time. So I got to see the play that goes wrong. And then I came home for my dog to eat my eyeglasses. Do you love that? Dog ownership. It's great. Look, they're still not fixed. Because I've invested my money in my show next Saturday at the Green Room 42 that I hope you're all going to come join me. We'll talk about it in a minute. And then I sat at home and I was watching Rami last weekend. It was cold and it was rainy. And what popped up on my screen? But Barbara Marchant, you may not know this, but Barbara Marchant is my acting teacher. Who I went to acting school with her, and she was my teacher at William Esper, which is one of the best acting schools in the entire universe. Everyone went there, from Sam Rockwell to that comedian that hosted the Oscars last year with the hair, Amy Schumer, to everyone was there. And it was sad, but it's okay. No worries. It's okay. Hobie Sunshine. So what ended up happening was I popped on the screen. There she is. There's Barbara, who's a legend. She ran Mason Gross at Rutgers Acting School for many years, and she's still teaching at William Esper. Rami from Rami on Hulu, which was last week's pick of the week, is actually a student in her class the year before me. So he was before me, wrote the show while he was in acting school, and then popped up, brought Barbara on. So Rami may be on the show soon. Hint, hint. Just a little something for us to talk about. And then I hung out with my people, my fake kids. There's me and my little Sam. We were out getting protein shakes, as you do. It was an easy week, nothing too crazy. The craziness is coming this weekend and next week for sure. So I hope you had a good week. My week was all right. Are you ready to hear a little bit about what's artistically going on? Here's our shameless plug.
'Cause I'm shameless.
So yes, I'm back on stage. I'm back on the stages. And I'm coming up on the stage. You're funny. Who are you, ice skater queen? I love this show. Who are you? Welcome. Come here all the time. I'm back on the stage, New York City. Are you ready? The 22nd. It's like a week before I turn 39 years old, which I know I look amazing. I know. But I'm bringing Rewind back, and we're recording it for a live album. It's directed by Robbie Rosell. It's my vocal director, Yas Fukuoka. My band, I'm telling the stories about me growing up. We are singing Cher. Do you want to hear about my first date? Kelly Dixon, Richfield Park, New Jersey. We went and saw the Brady Bunch. Spoiler alert. You need to come get your tickets. If you want to know that story, you need to come. If you want to hear me sing Dolly Parton and talk about when I quit school, I quit college twice. Don't tell my students, but I went back. Now I have 2 master's degrees. So what? It's a journey, right? We're going to hit rewind. I'm going to tell you all those stories. Never told them before. I've told some of my deepest, darkest secrets. Never told those stories. So if you want to come see the show, it's online and it's in person. Come in person. Come in person. Go to robertbannon.com and come hang out with us live, Green Room 42, the 22nd at 7 o'clock in New York City. And I hope to see you there, online or in the room. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then I'm going to LA on the 10th of November. Matt Gould is playing piano for me. Matt Gould is a genius piano player and composer. And the Grammy-nominated Jane Monheit and the star of Wicked on Broadway and in Frozen and Disneyland, Dominique Patton, are all going to be there as my special guest at Feinstein's at Patello's. If you're in LA, get your tickets. I have 2 more things to talk about in the shameless plug because it's shameless. Is that okay? I'm freezing here. Are you freezing where you are? It's freezing. I had it like this before, and I looked like a shepherd in the nativity. So Lauren Smith, who is one of the greatest vocalists of all ever, is doing his first ever in-person New York show. Lattes has her ticket. Do you have your ticket? Everyone at Chelsea Table and Stage on November 19th, you can get your tickets. Lauren Smith is going to be here, and we have a surprise guest for him. I can't talk about it, but we're going to have Lauren Smith here. If we talk about it, he won't do it. He's going to be here on November 19th in New York City, also virtually online. Go to @SangLaurenSmith on Instagram. I'll put a link and we'll figure it all out. ET phone home. Come on, Abby. I hear you. I get it, mama. I love it. Elsa is coming. Well, she was Anna, a close ice skater queen. I love you. Who are you? What's your name? Let it. Who are you people? Are you my students? Let it go. You're funny. So, everyone, big news this week. Big, giant, gigantic, Jagunga, Godzilla-like news. I'm bringing a live in-person version of this crazy nonsense show to Montclair State University with Tony-winning star of MJ, Miles Frost. That's right. Miles Frost will be live on stage November 28th at 7 p.m. It's Monday. It's Broadway's night off. Spend Broadway's night off with me. Montclair State University's presentation hall. You'll have a moderated conversation about his life and how he got ready to be MJ and win the Tony. And MJ, he's like 23 years old. There's a limited number of meet and greet tickets. There's VIP tickets, and it's a whole experience. That will be November 28th at 7 o'clock, BroadwayLectureSeries.com. We have more guests that we are announcing. The series will be done 4 times a year, and it is in person only. It is not live streamed as per our contract. So you need to get your tickets in person. Come see Miles Frost. Go to robertbannon.com. Get your tickets. There's a link to buy your tickets. Come see this. It is my little dream come true. We've been working at it for a long time. I knew they're my students. Look at my students. Why aren't you this clever and funny in class? Okay, so please come Broadway Broadway lecture series. Mess. I can't keep track of all of these shows. The Broadway lecture series, Miles Frost, November 28th. There's blasts of stuff going everywhere. All right, you ready? Here we go. My mom's excited. My mom will be there. Hi, Mom. She's ready to go to the Broadway lecture series. You need to be there. Montclair. Come on, Montclair. There's limited VIP seats. They're selling out, so you better get them quick. All righty. Yeah, that's all fun stuff. That's good stuff, right? And what else do I've got for you? I'll be there for you. How you doing? Well, hey, friend. Hey. Christine, that one was for you because you showed me that you have like your little dance for it. Christine Clifton, who watches our show every week, and I talked to John McDaniel, John McD of the McDLT and the Rosie O'Donnell Show. That will be airing on the Roundtable Talks, which is the sister program to this show, later this month for sure. Next week, hey friend, hey, L. Morgan Lee will be here, a Tony nominee for Strange Loop. She will be here for the hour talking about all things Broadway music, her future, what's it like to be a trans actress on Broadway. You really got to check it out. We have a real honest, deep conversation. It was a good conversation. So, hey friend, hey, this series. Thank you, Christine. I hope it will be wonderful. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I just hope we all come out. And I hope you come out. Christine is coming from North Carolina to see me. Lattes is coming from Maryland to see me. You can come from Richfield, New Jersey and come see me next Saturday night. So be there. It'll be a fun time. So my friends, hey, I just want to give a big shout out to a couple of people that are friends to the show. Firstly, congrats to Wendell and Delaney. Wendell Pierce and Delaney Williams were here a few weeks ago. They opened to rave reviews of Death of a Salesman. I'm going to be there tomorrow night. I can't wait to see it. Congratulations to Wendell and Delaney. And then a big shout out to our friend Cece Balagot. Cece was here not too long ago. They were here a couple of months ago, and finally Monster High is out on Nickelodeon and Paramount Plus. Cece is a super duper star. We had a wonderful conversation, and I'm so excited that their movie is out. Monster High is streaming now. So congrats, friends. Hey, friends. Hey. And so good, big shout out. A movie that I was able to executive produce called Catalina Island. It's a short, has been accepted into the New York LGBT Film Festival, New Fest, this year, and I was able to EP this, and it's directed by my dear friend in acting school. Talk about Barbara Marchand, acting school friend Sam DiGiovanni, and he wrote it and co-stars in it. And congrats to Ron Pete, who is an amazing actor, who is the star of it, and Tyler Labinowitz, who is the director. And I'll get to go to the premiere of it on Sunday at the New York LGBTQ plus Film Festival. So congratulations, friends. Congratulations to us for getting that done. Yes, hey, friend, hey. Always a hot mess, but that's why you come to this show. You know, I'm not this mess. Okay, I'm exactly like this in real life. Exactly. Like to a T. This mess is exactly who I am. Yeah. Well, everyone, it's Halloween, and Halloween means it's time for many people to go see a movie that's been released for 37 years. I'm preppy when I'm not in class. I don't even know what that means. So, this show, I got to speak a couple of weeks ago to the legend that is Barry Bostwick. He's a legend, and he's been in over 200 IMDb credits. And well, here, take a look. It was during lunch in my 5th grade classroom. Take a peek at this. So we've played this game before with some iconic actors in the past. Eric Roberts, Anna Marie Horsford, Renee Watson. We counted their IMDb credits to see who wins, and I think our next guest is the winner. He has 268 IMDb credits. He's a Tony Award-winning actor who has been in some of the most iconic films and television shows and Broadway shows that you've ever seen, and he's on tour again, celebrating the anniversary of Rocky Horror Picture Show. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to welcome Mr. Barry Bostwick.
Hello.
Hello.
It's not like I can remember all of those shows. Yeah. Yeah, I don't. I remember about 10 of them.
I think you win. I think you have the most.
Thank you.
Congratulations, and
See this here?
happy lunch.
It's in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I say it? You're a hot dog, but you better not try to hurt her, Frankfurter. Here's a Frankfurter right here.
This just became my favorite interview of all time.
Well, I've never done that before, but I'm hungry.
Told you.
Okay.
Barry, I was a fan online at one of these Rocky Horror conventions and horror fests, and I needed to meet you because your work in this movie and now this tour. I'm sure when you were filming it, I don't think you ever thought that 47 years later, you'd be on the road, the longest release for a movie in history. 47 years in limited release. Is this a trip? What a ride it must have been.
Yeah, I'm still eating my hot dog.
No, please.
Somebody once said to me, how did Brad get a piece of chalk in his jacket at the church so that he could draw on the door, in "Damn It, Janet, I Love You"? And I thought to myself, well, I think I made that up, and I didn't expect that 47 years later, somebody would need me to justify it, that I had some chalk in my pocket. Well, and that's like the whole show is like that. You go, I don't know why it lasted, except for the fans. The fans have created this new form of entertainment. This, when I was living in New York years and years ago, we had happenings, where you go at somebody's loft and things would happen. And I think the Rocky Horror Picture Show experience has sort of grown from that, from everybody getting together in one dark space and just getting their freak on, for a couple of hours. And there's certain rules, you don't throw things at the actors. You don't light you don't light the theater on fire with flames anymore. And I don't know if squirt guns are allowed anymore. And that might be also something that the theater owners have vanquished from the whole experience. But I just never realized there'd be so many virgins 47 years later who still want to see this movie and come in. And we did a screening a couple of months ago in someplace, North Carolina. And at the screening, there was 2,000 kids at the screening. And I looked out and I thought, my God, most of them are under the age of 25. And, and a lot of them are just early teens. And they're there, I think, to have that initial experience that so many people have had over the years, where you can say to your friends 20 years, 30 years later, this is what I did when I first saw Rocky Horror. This is what happened to me. And everybody has a story. And I think what's wonderful about now is that we're still creating stories. We're still embarking on this strange journey with new people, a new generation, and it's one of the reasons why I go out occasionally and do these things, not only to support the shadow casts around the country, because they've been suffering like everybody else has. A lot of them lost their theaters, and they lost a lot of cast members because of the pandemic, and everything is just sort of coming back together again. And hopefully by my coming to Boise, it will reinvigorate the market there, and the excitement that the fans have and that the Shadowcasts have for doing this? Boy, that's a long answer.
No, thank you. No, he will. So this tour, 47 years, you'll see the movie. There's the Shadowcast. They even sell the pack, so you can have your, I don't know, toilet paper, rice.
Oh yeah, they sell. In fact, that's basically how the Shadowcasts stay alive. Is they sell the prop bags, you know, and they're in somebody's living room the night before, packing up these bags with stuff, and having a great time. And that community is so strong and so loving, and they project that, you know, when they do the show. They are super fans of Rocky Horror. It has touched so many of their lives in a very meaningful way.
Absolutely. Well, if you're going to Michigan, Arizona, California, New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, Virginia, Vermont, you can go. He will speak after the show. There's costumes on display. There's meet and greets with Barry. It's a whole experience. It's a whole evening in the perfect time of year, Barry, as we enter October, to get your spook and Halloween on to see this tour.
Yeah. I mean, and because, you know, Rocky Horror was for many, many years, you know, a Friday and Saturday night ritual. You know, it's like going to church. And it had slowed down during the pandemic, and now we're just trying to widen it a bit and maybe sort of hit them in the Halloween.
Yes.
And then it can move forward to some of these casts continuing to do it during the other times of the year.
Yes, it's wonderful. My good friend Mike and my good friend Todd ran movie theaters through the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. They were trying, when I told them I was going to talk to you, they said, for every Saturday for decades at midnight, we would, and the loyalist fans would come out and the Shadowcast would come out. They probably can recite the movie line for line. They ran it for all these. It's a piece of American cinematic history for now, forever.
It is. Well, I think I said, I mean, it's been in constant release for 47 years.
47 years.
You know, it's in the Library of Congress. I mean, for a little garage band movie, you know, a spoofy, campy little movie that we made, it has had such an impact socially and certainly in the rock and roll world, because the music is so good, and a lot of the songs have been covered by so many people, but ultimately, besides what maybe the message of the movie is, which I don't think Richard O'Brien really was pushing, you know, he was just pushing his obsession with you know, campy 50s movies and old horror films, and trying to put it all together in something that entertained him, and he luckily was able to find people who were on the same page, designers and camera people and actors who were as excited about it and as amused by it. You know, I mean, if we weren't amused by it, and if we weren't all making the same movie, it would be very difficult. Jim Sharman, who directed it, you know, he directed it on stage, and he had such a fine eye for the level of camp that this thing has, because it could go way over the top, which I've seen a lot of stage versions of the Rocky Horror Show go way over the top and get so cartoony. But he always stressed that, you know, these are real people in real situations, as bizarre as they are, and as, you know, unearthly as some of them are. You can't comment on what you're going through. You just have to go through it.
And I think that's what resonates. I want to let people know that if you want to get tickets, you want to see all of the dates, you can go to rockyhorror.com. Make sure when it's in your neck of the woods. And if you're a fan of Barry, and if you're a fan of it, Barry's website, barrybostwick.com, he has all sorts of fun clocks and pictures. And if you want to get a piece that's signed by Barry and put that in your Halloween collection, go to barrybostwick.com. MegaForce.com. Make sure you can get your collectible today, because what collection's not complete without it?
Well, and I sell my signed underwear, and how many actors can literally do that legitimately without just being too freaky, and just a little off, but because my character is in his underwear most of the time, I can sign my Fruit of the Looms, and they can buy them online on my barrybostwick.com. And
I thought it's in underwear. You're my kind of guy, Barry. That's
it's if you don't have fun with it, what's the point? It's been fun for 47 years, and a lot of people, if I do conventions occasionally, a lot of people will come up and say, "Oh, I have so much memorabilia from other movies and this and that," but my God, I don't have a pair of signed underwear on my living room.
BarryBostwick.com.
That's it.
Before we let you go, can we just talk about a few other pieces of work that I really enjoy from your 268 plus credits? Firstly, everyone, do you know he is the original Danny Zuko on Grease on Broadway?
Oh, nice. Yeah.
He is the original Danny Zuko. He is a Tony winner.
Yeah.
A Tony nominee multiple times, over 10 Broadway shows.
Yeah.
And then I loved this movie. I love MegaForce.
MegaForce. Talk about another kitschy, campy movie.
Yes.
God, my resume is full of them. We're just finishing up a documentary on the making of MegaForce, where but this fellow Bob Lindenmeyer, who's a big fan of MegaForce, has collected every vehicle and all the props and everything. He's got my original motorcycle and my original outfit, and he if you know the movie, there's a TACCOM, there's a big vehicle that guides everything through all these war stuff. He finally found that in a swamp in Canada, and he's getting that. He's got 3 of the cruisers, those little things, and he's got 3 motorcycles. Oh, the whole point is it. He's making this documentary, and I'm helping him out with it. And he's interviewed everybody who was ever involved in it, and we're calling it the documentary that nobody was asking for. And so, if it has that sense of humor, it goes right along with what amuses me, and so you look for that soon, probably, if I can ever get him to finish it, and if he can stop buying vehicles. And I think he's finally got one more interview to do with the guy who wrote the pilot for a TV series on MegaForce, which was the first part. They never made it, but there was a pilot series, a MegaForce script out there, and he's finally found the guy who did that. I'm so excited about that. I love this movie. That's amazing. And it's great. It's great. And if any of your viewers want to know more about it, they can go on to HQ headquarters, HQ headquarters. Oh, I don't remember.
We'll find it. We'll find
it. And the actual movie is Life After MegaForce. We have their own website now, so you can go on that, figure out where we are and how we're getting there, and why we're even doing it in the first place.
I love it. And then I would be remiss. This is what I remember mostly. I watched it growing up and through high school. We one of the greatest casts in television history is the cast of Spin City.
It was.
If it's Michael and Richard and everyone, Alan and yourself, what a joy it was for us to watch the comedic geniuses that you all were on that show.
Well, thank you. I don't know if we were geniuses. Michael's a genius. The rest of us were just, we were employees, and we just happened to have, I think, really good chemistry together. And Mike Fox, he trusted this sort of depth of his bench, and would hand storylines over to pretty much everybody in the cast, which and take some pressure off of him. And there aren't a lot of shows that you can go to the third or fourth lead and say, okay, this week it's your show. We're going to talk about something that went on in your life, some dilemma that has to do with town hall or whatever. And I think that's what made the show so ultimately so good, is that it wasn't just about Mike, getting laid. I mean, it was or saving my ass as the mayor, every week. There was other things going on.
Well, I'm excited. I mean, we could talk for hours about the Law and Order and the Scrubs episodes, and you as George Washington, everything that you've done. Your career is, and I would love to sit. I could sit with you, Barry, for hours. But until then, we're gonna all get ourselves a hot dog. We're all gonna get ourselves a roll of toilet paper, and we're all going as the phone rings. And we're all going to barrybostwick.com to get our signed underwear. And we're all going to rockyhorror.com to make sure that we get, see how professional this show is, Barry? As we get our tickets.
You're very good. Thank you. You're very good. It's been
very good. It's an honor. I'm going to be in Sugarloaf, New York. So I'm going to bring you I'll bring you some good Jersey fried hot dogs.
Oh, I like that.
Done.
Okay.
That's a deal.
Let's see you.
I told you he ate a hot dog. Now I have to go to Sugarloaf and I have to get like a Hiram's fried hot dog. But people in they don't want stranger danger food. I perform. I don't want someone to bring me a hot dog. But I love Barry Bostwick. I'm going to take when he says that you're really good, very good. It's amazing. This show is amazing. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And it was a real honor to talk to him. I want to go. I want to go see this. I have to go see this movie, and I have to go see this Barry Bostwick experience. Speaking of campy, fun, cult followings that have been around forever, is there something bigger the past few years than the reboot of The Karate Kid? Really, Christine, it sure was entertainment. Can't make this up. What did you do last night? I interviewed Barry Bostwick about Rocky Horror while he ate a Frankfurter. Sean Kanan is here. He's a soap star. He's a star of Karate Kid 3. He's a star of this season's Cobra Kai. And I got a chance to speak to him, and I brought my cousin Adrian along for the ride. Take a peek. All right, everybody, welcome back. And I'm so excited. Listen, our next guest has been on some of the most iconic television. If you are a kid of the 80s and 90s like I am, you know him from one of the largest movies and biggest blockbusters of all time. And somebody call your mother, call your father, call your grandmother, call your grandfather, because his soap career is unmatched. He is an Emmy award-winning performer, and I have to kiss his ass because he can kick my ass, literally. I invited my cousin Adrian. Adrian is here in her whole Cobra Kai regalia.
Oh, yes. I am excited and ready. And let me tell you, this new season has brought everything. This is what we've been waiting for. And let me tell you, it's phenomenal.
Sean Kanan is here.
Thank
Sean
you
Kanan.
so much. Thanks, guys.
Welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here. Season 5. It's been brought.
Oh,
it has been brought.
It is Z formation.
It is Z formation. One of the most popular shows in Netflix history, Cobra Kai, the nostalgia. But this is a lot of people have rebooted things, Sean. We could list a whole list of shows.
Isn't it weird that it wasn't popular until season?
Because they were waiting for Sean.
Nobody even knew what Cobra Kai was about before I got.
That's right. Well, Sean, I'm born in 1983, so Karate Kid 3 is the first one that I remember really, really seeing.
Yeah.
And you're such a bad guy. You're such an evil person.
I know. Well, first of all, I was a guy that bought a ticket to go see The Karate Kid, just like everybody else, for the first and the second one. So it was a seminal part of my childhood too. I mean, it's really a cinematic piece of the cinematic tapestry, certainly for the United States and now, worldwide. So I'm right there with you. And when I got the call to be able to play Mike Barnes, it was just, it was a pinch me moment, to say the least. Yes, I was a bad guy, though.
Yeah,
but he's just misunderstood. Misunderstood. That's how I see it. And I mean, I'm a little older than Robert, but I was a super fan from back in the day. I mean, I had the figures, the dolls, the everything. I had but when Cobra Kai, first came out, I'm like, this is great. And just every season, it got better and better. And I was like, I was waiting for this, because I was like, they have to have Sean. They have to have Sean. And it just, I mean, it's fantastic.
You and I were both waiting. Trust me. 5 years, Well,
but Sean, if you could talk us back in 1989, you had been training. It's really a part that, I mean, you were made to play in a lot of ways. You had been training. Can you tell us a little bit about the research that I did is you're from Ohio, you moved to Pennsylvania, and then you had been studying, I don't know how to say it.
Shotokan
karate under, his name, William
Stoner.
Williams, thank you. I get nervous that I'm going to make a big giant mistake.
I'm a nice guy.
No, you are. You're so nice.
Yeah.
Sean, that proves how good of an actor you are. Because
thank you.
On screen, Robert, I'm scared of you.
Here's something that's really crazy. So I was studying Shotokan karate, and then my karate school went under the umbrella of the Japan Karate Federation, which was headed and is headed by Sensei Fumio Demura, who happened to be Pat Morita's stunt double. So really crazy that, that first synergistic, I don't even want to say coincidence, happened. And so when they were looking for the new bad guy, my teacher told me about it because he knew I was pursuing my career in acting. And he was actually very instrumental in my getting the part. So there were all of these crazy things where stars aligned in the midst of all sorts of unbelievable obstacles thrown in my way, not the least of which is I almost died making the movie. Another one is I wasn't the first choice for Karate Kid 3. They hired somebody else, and the guy worked for about a week, didn't work out, and they called me back. So there were all of these obstacles and challenges which were thrown in my way, which, one would think would preclude me from finishing the film. And, I feel like there was a bit of destiny going on that guided me to making it to the finish line.
Well, you talk about, I was going to add, well, here's one of the iconic pictures of for sure. And then look at you. You're still in fighting shape. You're ready to go. I love it.
Ready to go, baby.
I read about that. You had internal bleeding on set, and you had to be like airlifted, like very.
No, I wasn't airlifted. It was Christmas Day, 1988, and I was in Las Vegas and passed out in the Dunes Casino. I had been having some significant pain in my left thigh, which I thought was from all the karate I was doing. So I was taking a lot of aspirin, which is a blood thinner. It exacerbated the bleeding, and I passed out from loss of blood. Was rushed to Humana Sunrise Hospital, and I was told by the attending nurse in the ER they weren't sure they could save my life. And the shit got very real very quickly. It was still to date probably the scariest thing that's ever happened to me. And I had to fight my way back into this world and then back into the film. And I was able to wind up doing all my own martial arts stunts in the film. And as terrible an experience as it was at the time, I wouldn't change it for anything, because it really, kind of faced with my own mortality at 22, 23 years old, it revealed something inside of me that I didn't know I had. It was that will to fight and, to continue on. And so for me, it's been one of the most defining tests, I guess, I've had in my life.
Well, your discipline and your commitment to your craft and in all various forms.
That not wanting to die, that's a pretty good motivator.
Yes. Listen, if I'm passed out in Vegas, it's not from internal bleeding. It's
right. Totally for me too.
And if I just may say, I mean, even back then, I mean, you were, and I'm married and I know you are as well, but you were very handsome. You have with age, my friend, oh my goodness, you look even better than
I've
before.
got really good lighting going on. I've got some Botox, and there's a cheesecloth in front of the camera. So.
Vaseline it up. Well, let's talk about some of your other work. You know, we talked about, we've had a lot of soap stars who have come on this show throughout this inclination of this little roundtable show. And I'm always fascinated to speak to soap stars because you want to talk about some of the hardest working actors in show business. You guys are filming pages and pages and pages and pages a day.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how the world of soap came calling? And you've had the luck of being on and even creating your own. So can you tell us a little bit about how you entered the world of soap opera?
So after I did Karate Kid 3 and working for Academy Award winner John Avildsen, I got a job working for Francis Ford Coppola doing the television series The Outsiders, short-lived show on Fox. And then I did something for Oliver Stone. So, I mean, I was cranking, you know, and I had a really good friend. He's still a good friend, Steve Burton, who plays Jason Quartermain. He played Jason Quartermain, Jason Morgan on General Hospital. And we had a striking resemblance, especially back when we were younger, although I suppose we still do now. And they were looking for a guy to replace the actor who was playing his brother. And Steve said, "Hey, you got to see my friend and cousin by marriage, Sean." And so I screen tested, not ever thinking I was going to go into daytime. And in 1992, I got the role of AJ Quartermain and have been involved in daytime television off and on since 1992.
That's a great photo. Love the photo.
Like the whole denim look thing with the no sleeves, very 80s, right?
Very
Union Bay jeans, you know.
Well, what do you say to everyone who, when they watch a soap, what was your routine to memorize pages as an actor? Like, so
that's really funny that you bring that up, and I'll tell you why. In my new soon-to-be released book, Welcome to the Kumite, which is the sequel to There We Go. I talk about the necessity of staying out of the results and building yourself a bulletproof process for anything, right? And if you build a bulletproof process and you tweak it accordingly and you do self-diagnostics and you keep refining a process, you're going to get the results, right? As long as you apply it consistently and effectively. And so in the book, I use the example of how I learn my lines. And, you know, I talk about my process, which is a pretty detailed process, although it's kind of second nature now, where, you know, I'll read the script a couple times, my lines, because it doesn't really matter what the other characters are saying unless they're talking about me, because no, but seriously though, because you want to know what other characters are saying about you to get insight. And then, you know, I collate my scenes, I highlight them, and then I start doing the, you know, the acting work on it. I make my choices and decide what I'm going to do. Then comes the semi-monumental task of learning 35 pages of dialogue. So it goes in a queue because I've got so many shows I'm doing that, you know, if it's a week out, I'll read it once or twice. And then as I get closer, I'll read it more and more. And then if it's the night before, I run it till I know it. And then once we get to the studio, you pair up with the actors you have scenes with in each other's dressing rooms, and you run, we call it the rule of three. You run it 3 times. And by the time you run it 3 more times, it's in your head and you know it. And as quickly as it's in your head, you got to let it go because, you know, short-term memory, you can only handle so much capacity. But learning lines has never been, you know, it's not the most challenging part of what I do. It's not at all the most challenging part. It's more of a nuisance, if anything else. You know, the thing is, how do you take this material and, you know, make it as good as possible? You know, my job is to take what's written on the page and make it even better by bringing it to life. And you know, but there's a process to it, and that's what I talk about in the book. Whether you're you know, whatever you do for a living, or even a process of, you know, how you communicate, either digitally or verbally, things like that. If you build a good process, the results will come.
That's advice for everyone in anything.
Yeah.
So I love that. When does that new book come out?
So my wife is formatting it as we speak, and it's going to most likely be available at the very beginning of December.
Just and time for Christmas and the holidays. Love it.
Yeah.
It's the sequel to Way of the Cobra,
Right.
which if you would like, order a copy of it, it's on Amazon, or you can go to wayofthecobra.com. You can get a signed copy
Absolutely.
and if you follow Sean on Instagram and go to the link, there's all sorts of memorabilia and materials and books and signed stuff and all sorts of stuff that you can purchase. It makes a great gift.
It does indeed. And we're actually going to be doing a box set for the holidays of both books. It's really cool. I just saw it. And, you don't have to have read Way of the Cobra to get tremendous value from Welcome to the Kumite, although I do suggest that you do it. And, in Way of the Cobra, I talked about the place where I found myself of my own creation and how I needed to get myself out of a place where I was very rapidly slipping into mediocrity. And these are the philosophies and strategies I use to do that. In Welcome to the Kumite, it's a lot more personal. I talk about a lot of what happened that kind of got me there. And, I realized that if I was going to elevate myself to the position of being a sensei, a teacher, and espousing this information, I had to really come clean and be honest and vulnerable about the mistakes that I've made, because I want to show people that, anyone can do this. Anyone can make these changes. Making these changes and affecting, meaningful paradigm shifts in your life is simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. And I think a lot of times in life, people see other people that are successful, and it's kind of like an iceberg. You only see the iceberg when it's sticking out of the water. You don't see that it goes down 5 times as deep, and the self-discipline, the sacrifice, the failure, the mistakes, the having to pick your ass up off the ground after you've been knocked down, all of that stuff that goes into it. And so, I think a lot of times people see me because, I'm visible from television and other things, and they see a lot of what I've done as being successful, but they don't understand the countless failures that I've had that led to it. There's this great quote by Michael Jordan, and I'm going to paraphrase it, but he said something to the effect of, I've missed X amount of game winning shots. I've mixed X amount of free throws. When there were so many seconds left in the game, I missed the shot, and because of that, I'm a success.
Wow. No, I get it. It's very easy to look at other people and say, oh, they have it all together. They're doing great. They don't have any problems. They don't have any struggles. You don't know the work that goes behind the scenes of it all, for sure.
Yeah. And, look, I'm just another guy trying to figure it out too. I mean, I figured some things out along the way. And, I always say, before you think that I'm living on top of a mountain in Kathmandu, levitating, contemplating my navel, it's because I've made every mistake in my book a dozen times over. And if I can act as a Sherpa to help everybody up the mountain and point out some of the well-worn pitfalls and traps, then, I'd like to do that.
I love that. And that really hit me, Sean.
Good. Go buy the book.
No. Oh, I definitely will. There's no doubt about that. But it's just, I love to see, look at your career. The span of a few decades, like, it's amazing to see. And that you're being so vulnerable and that you're sharing that, and it makes it so relatable. And I think people nowadays, even if I'm 44, of our age, it's just, I think we need to lift each other up. And I can't wait to read it. I'm so excited.
And here's the thing. Everybody needs a little help sometimes in their life. And, everybody has, it's like the Stones say, the moments of doubt and pain, where we feel like you're on the edge. You don't know if you're going to really be able to turn your life into a successful life. And, everybody needs a little guidance and direction and a hand up to help themselves. And I've certainly been given it in my life and career. And, for me, being of service and paying it forward is a central part of my philosophy.
And it really is. Now, to know more about you, it really does show. And it also explains why you have a career that has spanning almost 40 years. It's coming.
Can you believe it?
We would be remiss to not bring up, your other big soap. Well, there's multiple, but Deacon is a pretty iconic part of 2 soaps that are pretty. You've been on how many? Do you even know how many episodes? Thousands?
Oh, I've done definitely over 1,000. Yeah.
And what I read, which was so inspiring, and listen, Sean is a poli-sci guy. He went to school for poli-sci, like me. I think it makes the best actors, because politics and acting it's all a bunch of bullshit.
Absolutely.
But you then decide, hey, I'm a soap star. I've been in and you create one.
Right. Yeah. I've been trying to get Studio City made for years in different incarnations. And, we finally got it made largely through the help of my beautiful wife, Michelle, and my partner, Tim Woodward Jr., and a few other people. And, I wanted to create a show that showed a character to the world about what it's really like to be a guy on a soap. And, in the beginning of the show, you think this guy, Sam Stevens, has the world by the tail. He's on TV, works with beautiful women, and you realize very quickly he's a flawed individual. As the layers of the onion get peeled back, you realize he's just another guy trying to figure it out and sort of stumbling through life and kind of can't get out of his own way. And we're so fortunate. Our first I think 11 episodes, we got nominated for 16 Emmys. We won 3. It's been an extraordinary run, and we're in the process right now of closing a deal which is going to take the show worldwide on multiple platforms. And as soon as I can announce the details of it, I will. But Studio City is going to live to fight another day.
Yes, that's congratulations. That's Emmy Award winner right there. Emmy Award winner.
They haven't done a recount yet.
No. So listen, we're both convention people. Adrian is her and her husband are huge convention people.
Oh, okay.
She just went to a convention. This Cobra Kai has created such an intense need and want for the Karate Kid.
And it's all ages. That's what I love to see. Like when we went, I think it was last November, we went to Rhode Island, my husband and I, and everybody was there and everyone was so nice. And I say the kids, the younger, the new generation, they were so kind. They were so
a great
sweet.
group of people.
And
really.
To watch them with the little kids in there, and I was just like, that just made me so happy. And I have to say, Martin Cove, he was
Marty's the best.
He was hysterical. He was so sweet. But
Marty's the best. They're all great. Billy, Ralph, they're all great guys.
Oh yeah.
And girls.
But it's just, but like I said, I love that now you have a whole new generation of young people that are like, I love this. And it makes me happy because I loved it as a kid myself. So it shows that this can last forever, hopefully.
Yeah. This is one of the incredible successes that the big three have had who created the show, that they straddled the age demographic between people like us who probably like it for nostalgic reasons, and then young kids who love the younger group and weren't necessarily even aware of Billy and Ralph and all of that. And then they watched Cobra Kai and then they were like, oh wait, there's films that it's based on, so that's great because it's not easy writing to the comedic sensibilities of two different generations, and appealing to both. And what it's done is functionally create an emotional magnet where you've got adults getting together with their kids, watching something together. And, as hokey as it sounds, I think it's something we need right now in our society, something that's a unifying force cross-generationally. And I'm just so honored to be a part of it.
Well, it's a phenomenon. It's been since the 80s. It will carry on and continue. I want to just, before we let you go, I would be remiss now that I've talked to you. Now I can't miss the gym today because I'll feel too guilty.
What do you do? Take action.
Tell me, what do you do? Can you share it a little? You never eat a carb in your whole life. Go ahead. Tell us.
Listen, I've lost 45 pounds since my heaviest. And when I did Cobra Kai, I had done 2 films with Bruce Willis at the beginning of last year, and one of them I had to bulk up for. I was playing a military guy, a mercenary, so I bulked up for that. So I was still 20 pounds heavier than I was now when I did Cobra Kai. Again, one of the things I talk about in Way the Cobra is the difference between discipline and self-discipline. And I have a lot of self-discipline in some areas, not so much in others. I require discipline. So I'm fortunate enough that I'm able to have a trainer who, gets me to the gym and makes me do it. And, I do eat really healthy. I don't drink alcohol anymore. So I figure I treated my body like a nightclub for the first 50 years. I figured I'd treat it like a temple for hopefully the next 50.
I like that. That's a great way to put it. I like that a lot.
Right.
You're such a sweet. You're a pleasure, Sean.
Oh, I'm a delight, right?
You're a
National
delight.
treasure.
Oh
This
my
guy.
gosh.
What a charmer. Oh my! I can never watch Karate Kid again the same.
I told you no. They
Well,
misunderstood.
I hope we get the chance to meet in person sometime. It would be really nice to talk
So are
about
you out in LA? Is that where you?
That's where I am. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm out in LA. We're coming out to LA in November.
Yes.
You're coming out in November?
Yes.
Yeah,
Are
I'm
you coming
doing a
out,
show.
what part of November are you coming out in?
The beginning of November, the 10th.
Yes.
Oh God, I'm leaving the 9th. I leave for Dubai for a big Comic-Con. The royal family is having a Comic-Con, and so it's called PopCon, I think. So I'm going to Dubai with the wife and a couple of the kids, and it's going to be amazing. I have no idea what to expect. It looks
That's
phenomenal.
way more fun.
But all the
You
too
better
bad you're
go.
coming out. You're coming out the 10th. Oh, I would have loved to see you guys.
No, well, I'm out. We're out all the time. My partner's in Studio City.
Well, oh God, I lived in Studio City for years. Well, you have my number, so please give me a call, and I'd love to get together for dinner with you guys.
Done. And when you go to Dubai, you better jack all those selfie and autograph prices. They have all the money in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know they have ATMs there that give out gold?
Come on.
Yeah, Google
No.
it. Honest to God, go on YouTube and put Dubai's gold ATMs. It's nuts,
Robert, we need to go there.
right?
That's it. I can't afford to go there. I'm this poor little school teacher in New Jersey. My
We'll get a
ATM
good
is
deal.
stuffed.
I work in travel. We'll get a good deal.
Like,
Everybody, listen. Right now, before the holidays, go follow Sean. Right now, go follow
Please.
him on Instagram so you can stay up to date. Get the books. The books you can go to wayofthecobra.com and order a signed copy right now. You can wait and get ready for the next book. The next book is on its way. It's coming out hopefully by the end of this year, and we're going to be following you. And we're so grateful. You really made our whole
thank
entire
you, Robert.
day today,
Thank
Sean.
you, Adrian. It was great talking to you guys. All right, take care of yourselves.
Thank you.
Bye.
How great was that? That's Cobra Kai. That's Karate Kid 3. That's General Hospital. That's Bold and the Beautiful. That's Young and the Restless. That's Sean Kanan. Make sure you pick up and grab that book. What a fun show. Such a fun show. I had fun. Did you have fun? Next week, L. Morgan Lee is here, Tony nominee for Strange Loop. I love her so much. Terrific conversation with star Sean Kanan, keeping it real. What a talented kind of guy. Sean really discussed some valuable tips. He sure did. I did go to the gym after we filmed that, but I don't think I can go tonight. I'm tired, y'all. Oh, I'm so tired. 5th grade life is hard. Next week, I hope you join us. We have some special shows coming up that you're going to really enjoy. We have a show about 2 great documentaries that are coming out, one about a boxer turned comedian, and we have one about some social media influencers. They're going to be on our roundtable bonus this week. Plus next week, L. Morgan Lee. Then the following week, we're doing a special show on HIV prevention with some superstars that are speaking out for a good cause. And Vincent, award-winning superstar singer. I love. He was someone I wanted to be on the show. Vincent will be here by the end of the month. Don't miss November. Justin Guarini, Lauren Smith, and a whole lot more. All right. Maybe George Takei. Yeah. So join me soon. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I love and appreciate you. Make sure you go to robertbannon.com. Come see me October 22nd, Greenman 42, or see me in LA November 10th. And the Broadway lecture series is coming in November. So get your tickets. Go to robertbannon.com. Till next time, God bless you. Thank you all for being here. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Have a hot dog on me. See you next time. Bye.